you're going on first.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here we go. I told you she could skate. Yeah, look.
Oh, it's more slippery than I remember. Yeah. Right. Okay. Yeah, wow, it's going to be challenging thinking in this while doing this.
All right, so I'm going to, you don't have to think about this for a while.
All right.
Because I'm going to try and read while we're skating. But I'm going to ask you about it. So I thought I would start by talking about Moon Sugar,
Yeah.
your latest novel.
Yeah.
And I don't normally do this because people get bored with reading. But I'm going to see if I can skate and read at the same time.
Okay.
Because the beginning of this is just extraordinary.
Oh, thank
and I want
you.
everyone to go and get it. So I'll just read a couple of paragraphs. So 25 years ago, light pours into the dusty shed where the astronaut sits among his collection of irradiated samples. Amid blood orange flakes and light mustard wafers, he watches his daughter, dappled with tree shade, search out fairy hovels in the garden. An adventurer like him... I'll start that sentence again. An adventurer like him, but delicate in her pastel blue pinafore dress. Dark hair gleaming in sunlight. A cloud takes over the sky. The light leeches away, but his gut twists with relief. His daughter will grow up without a mother. He fingers some of the lichen, which arranges itself in circles, mini amphitheatres of saffron. He snaps off a piece of it and lifts it to his mouth. He grinds down between his teeth, remembering his time floating out in the blackness of space. It's beautiful,
Thanks,
Angela.
Tania.
What a way to start a novel. So, what happens next?
Yes.
Tell us a bit about
So it jumps back and forward in time a little bit, but that character comes back later in the novel and we find out the significance of that. But the main way it kind of starts off is with Mila, who's in her early 40s. Her life hasn't quite turned out the way she expected it to. She has a young lover and he's gone off to Europe on a trip, and then he goes missing. And she finds herself a lot more devastated about this and a lot more shook by this extra change in her life than she thought she would be. So she spontaneously goes off to look for him, and so does his housemate and best friend. So it's kind of got them going on an adventure, and it's kind of a mystery, and also there's some other stuff going on that gets revealed in the middle of the novel that's a little bit stranger.
Yes.
So that's the basic premise. Yeah.
Beautiful. I loved it. What's the hardest thing about writing for you?
It's not really the writing itself, it's finding time to write, which I'm sure every writer says. Because one has to earn a living and look after people, and yeah, but I've always managed to, even like when I was working in publishing and freelancing, everything I've done, I've always been very busy. I've always managed to carve out, even if it's just like an hour a week, and often I'd have it on the same day every week, and I'd just kind of try and protect that little parcel of time. And if it is on the same day each week, I find I can get into a rhythm where I'm sort of thinking about it the day before as well, and ready to write when I get to the desk. And so I think that's the hardest thing. Writing itself, I mean, yes, so many things about it are hard as well, but it's also the most incredible, joyful process. Yeah.
It's so important, isn't it, to protect the time, because there'll always be something.
That's right. Whether you get up an hour early one day or you arrange so you can have that hour on the weekend or whatever it is, just put that in place. At the moment, my husband has a 9-day fortnight, so on that Friday every fortnight, he takes our daughter and I write on that day. So it's sort of once a fortnight, but I get longer.
Have you always written?
Yeah, since I was about 8 or 9, I had at that time a really wonderful experience of people who encouraged me. So I had a teacher. My year 3 teacher was an exchange teacher from Canada, Mrs. Grant, and she would get me to read my stories to the class. One of them was called Michael Jackson and the Magic Hat. That went down well, being 1993.
Yes.
And my Oma, my Dutch grandmother, my paternal grandmother, she also wrote. So she had written some short stories, but mostly wrote for the Dutch newspapers in Wollongong.
Yeah.
And diaries. She always kept diaries. And she bought me my first diary and, encouraged me to write. So that was really beautiful. But for a while when I was a teenager, I thought I wanted to be an actor. But then I diverted back to writing.
Sounds exactly like me. It sounds exactly like me.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
There you go.
It's exactly my
I love it.
life. Yes, I always wrote.
Yeah.
I don't know that I wanted to be a writer. I wanted to be an actor.
Yes. Yeah.
And I did try that for a while, but realised that,
But there's some similar things in it. Like I remember being particularly drawn to method acting and how you would fully experience being another person, or like it's similar with writing.
Yes,
where
absolutely.
you create characters and inhabit their mind and senses and things like that. So I think it's understandable if some people are drawn to both those things.
Yeah, not always healthy. So before you were writing professionally or publishing, what were you doing then for work?
So lots of different things. So where I grew up in Coffs Harbour, I started working when I was 14, and I worked in a cinema, and I worked in retail, and did night packing, and I worked in bars. Yeah. But I've also worked, I was very lucky that when I moved to Melbourne, I'd been doing some reviews for Books and Publishing magazine, but back in Coffs when I was working in a bookstore. And when I got to Melbourne, they said, "Oh, come in and say hello." And I went in and they said, "Someone's actually leaving, so we have a position opening." I tell this to my students, it's not very fair. But I say to them, look, sometimes this is how it happens. You have to get in front of people. At other times, it's this long, hard, slog. But that was just one of those chance moments that obviously I had to prove that I could do the role, and I had already started my blog, and I had all of this material that I could show that I could write about books, and that I was already understood about the publishing industry and stuff like that because I worked in a bookstore. But that's where I started also becoming an editor and working in publishing roles. Working at Books and Publishing magazine, which was wonderful.
I want to talk about the novella,
Yes.
Joan Smokes. Okay. This is a book that I recommend to all my writing students.
Thank you.
It's a masterclass in precision and writing succinctly. So again, I'm going to do what I don't normally do, and I'm going to read a little bit.
Yeah.
Actually, you can read.
No, not while I was skating. I'm still getting used to doing it again.
All right. So this is from it's almost at the beginning. She's seen the Las Vegas Strip in a movie. It is just as technicolor in real life. The radio plays Be My Baby by the Ronettes, and she flicks it off because love songs are ice. The lights make sound in her eyes. On one side, the soprano crescendo of pink. On another, a swooshing fan of green-blue. Everything is tall. The buildings, the cars, waterfalls, the feathers. It's orange desert dusk. She does not know where to go. The money has to stretch out until she gets a job. So, where is the off-strip? Less tall area where the workers live. But she could just pull in here, under this sparkling roof, and let the valet park the car. How do you write like that? I mean, tell me about your process. Do you write longer sentences and then pare them back, or does it come out like that?
I had an experience when you were reading that where I was like, who wrote that?
It's so
I
good.
don't know, but it's so weird. Sometimes I think you do kind of go into some different zone or channel something over there, right?
Yes.
And then at other times you're thinking about, each word, but like I think for a lot of the time the drafting happens for me in that way where it does kind of flow, but then I edit and edit and edit, you know, and there's a lot of cutting, but then there's also choosing detail. So I think it's very common with writers where you'll write something and then you'll write it again, but in a totally different way, and you'll realize when you're editing, I've already said that in a different way. So that's one of the main edits I would do, is just kind of excising anything where I'm kind of beating the reader over the head with it. So leave some things for them to meet the text halfway. But I'm also, I think, very sensory as a writer. So it's like, I guess, noticing as well when I'm editing, have I written something that's just visual? Like, are there smells? Is it tactile? I don't always do this completely consciously.
Yeah.
But I think that's what happens when I'm editing often, where I'm making sure all those senses are there, and then the reader's more embodied in the text when they're reading it.
Yeah. I love this. I love this kind of writing. Yeah, so good. So you know, so specific, so precise. It's like poetry. It's really good. I love it.
Thank you. I had a really, really lovely poet say to me once that he thought that I was a poet.
Yeah,
and
it is poetry.
But I've only really published 3 poems ever. It's weird. It's just like that impulse for me is it goes into the prose, but there's a rhythm. It's rhythmic. But prose is more natural than poetry. With poetry, it's just hard. Like, I really admire poets because they go even further, and they actually deliberately kind of obfuscate the meaning sometimes, whereas I find that difficult to do. Like, I want the reader to, and I like having linearity and things like that. I don't know, that's just how my brain works. I like them to follow, and it's telling a story rather than a poem, which can be a bit more kind of abstract. Though poems can tell stories as well, of course. Yeah.
Poetry's so hard, I think.
It's so hard.
Yeah. No, people don't realise. You were talking before about your parents going on an odd trip to Las Vegas. Did this inspire the book?
Yes, it did. I didn't know you were going to bring Joan Smokes today.
But this,
my jacket from 1995, OG Planet Hollywood Las Vegas jacket, is from the trip that we took to Vegas when I was a kid. So obviously seeing Vegas as a 10-year-old, it's going to leave a very specific impression, resonance.
Yes.
And then I guess I've always been drawn to Vegas texts, and I love the idea of like this sort of faded glamour, because even in the 90s it was 100% like a kind of rundown theme park.
Yeah, love it. I know you write a lot of different things, but what do you like writing best of all?
I love writing novels, but I think each project kind of takes its own form. Like when I started Joan Smokes, I didn't know it was going to be a novella, but I just realised that it only had kind of one central character and one arc, and about 4,000 words in, I realised. So I just sort of embraced that, and what I'm writing now could end up being a novella as well. And I think it does work for someone who, as you say, writes fairly concise like me. I don't know. I love the idea that I could write a big fat novel at some point, but maybe it would be a series of novellas together, you know? Like I'm not sure. Because I love reading novels. Like they're my favourite thing to read. So.
And I thought Joan Smokes it was different to the longer novels. So the longer novels flow, and the sentences are longer. And
different chapter lengths.
Yeah. So they do feel different.
Yeah, Joan Smokes just came out that way. Yeah.
Can you tell us anything about what you're writing?
So I had a short story published in Meanjin last year. Is it the year before now? Oh my god. And it was the beginning of what is the novel that I'm writing, although it will probably change quite a lot. She's a pregnant character in a very absurd kind of post-apocalyptic town that's a bit based on The Castle by Franz Kafka. And there's this central station in the middle of town, but no one knows what it's stationed for or what it's going to do. So I've got her, and then I've got another character who's sort of in a different setting, and that's where I'm at. Like, I'm just going forward with those characters. Oh, and I'm actually working on 2 manuscripts for the first time ever, which is why both of them will take forever as well. But it's completely different. It's like commercial fiction.
Yeah.
I was reading lots of commercial fiction just for like comfort, and I don't know, I just started playing around with it, and it's so fun and so different to write. So I'm just kind of like going with it. And when the other one is feeling hard to write, I jump into the fun manuscript. Like, it could be just an experiment.
Yeah, I had a recent experiment trying to write commercial fiction.
Commercial fiction is an experiment for someone who's more inclined to write literary fiction or poetic fiction, or the different ways that you might define it.
So I thought,
I just think that's interesting. Yeah.
I thought I'm going to plot it. I'm going to start with, like it says in Graham Simpson's novel. What's it called? The novel project.
Yeah,
that
right.
writing book. I'm going to write the synopsis first.
Yep. Oh. You're right.
So, and then I'm going to. So I did that.
Yep.
And then I'm going to get the cards, but I didn't get to the cards.
So I am not doing that. I'm writing it in the same way that I write literary fiction. I'm just going forward.
Yes.
But I have the plot in my head, and I know that it has a commercial kind of arc, like in the way that it's sort of satisfying for the reader. I hope. And there's lots of conflicts. Yeah.
And the other one, I like the sound of the other one. And you have always been inspired by or influenced by Kafka?
Yeah,
Yes.
Definitely. Yeah.
Who else inspires or influences your work?
Lots of writers. I think when I started working at that bookstore in Coffs when I was like 18, it was customers who actually helped introduce me to a lot of Australian literature, which was so cool. Like, when I think about that as an education. So that's when I started reading like Kate Kennedy and Alex Miller and gosh, I'm not even going to... Peter Goldsworthy, like tons of Australian writers. And then some like other influences that are always there are like Frankenstein, like anything that has that kind of gothic and dark and strange. I always love Richard Yates, the American writer, his beautiful, sad stories and novels. There's so many though. Like, I read like 5 books at a time, and just like the definition of like a voracious reader. And I'll read all genres. I love crime fiction. I love romance. I love everything. If it's done well and it takes me on that journey, and the characters are good. Characters really important to me.
Yeah.
Then I'm in. Yeah.
I would love to write a gothic novel.
Yeah.
I think
you absolutely with your like, I mean, there are elements of it in what you've done already. Yeah.
I think whenever I start to write something, I think, this is going to be a gothic novel.
Yes.
Then something happens, and it never happens.
Do the haunted house.
Yes.
That can be redone again and again, I reckon.
Yeah. I would love that.
All right. Amazing. Yes. Muscle memory is a very good thing.
Angela.
Tania.
What are you reading at the moment? You always have the best book recommendations.
Yeah, I've got a few things on the go. I'm reading Double Happiness by Rochelle Siminowitz, which is about polyamory, and it's kind of like got a romance structure, and it's really fun. She based stuff from her own life, so it's honest and very flawed characters, and really lovely. I finished Tim Winton's Juice recently. I'm still deciding what I feel about that. I think the more climate change literature, the better, and from popular writers, but it has some aspects of his other writing that I haven't always necessarily clicked with. The kind of blokiness to it, even like the language, like the voice of it. But there's some really moving characters and really interesting world details that you can tell he's thought a lot about. Anyway, I'm still deciding how I feel about
I haven't read that.
Yeah,
either.
I forget what else. I read like 5 books at once.
It's that blokey kind of style of writing. I've got in one of my writing groups.
Yeah.
So I've got all these books up in the cupboard. The library, we're going to pulp a whole lot of books. So I've got set book club sets.
Yeah.
I've got this beautiful literature. So what do you want to read? No, we don't want to read any of those. We want to read a Stephen King book.
You're right.
So I thought, at least they're reading, because so many people, come on, I want to be a writer. What do you read? No. Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm going to make you read.
Yeah, exactly.
Anything. So we're reading Stephen King's Pet Cemetery.
Yeah.
I thought it'd be really easy to find in op shops,
Yeah.
so I could get a set, but I haven't been able to find it.
Yeah.
But it feels so blokey. I don't think I've read Stephen King since I was a teenager. I loved Stephen King when I was a teenager.
Yeah.
But it's just, the mail is just so, I find him obnoxious.
I haven't read that. I did read Misery quite recently because one of my husband's friends liked it, and we like having chats about books. He's one of his friends that I click with because of that. So I read sometimes things that he likes, and I enjoyed it. But
and the male voice, what was?
I don't know. I mean, yes, the horror character is a horrible woman. Like, there's so much, I guess, that's probably already been said and written about that. But I guess Stephen King's interesting to read for the suspense and the fear, and he's really, obviously, really good at.
And for the final question, yes, listen to the 5 emojis.
I only use like 3 emojis. I'm not one of those people so I don't even know what's there. Love heart. Look, there's no lichen emoji. I'm just going to say like mushroom, like fungus, So that's that. The winky face emoji.
Okay.
That's 3. Aeroplane.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Can you think of a 5th one? That suits it.
A rocket. Love.
Yeah, true. Rocket's good.
I love the cover. I normally talk about book covers as well, but the title, I would have bought it just for the title.
Oh, thank you.
Was it always called Moon Sugar, or did you consider other titles?
I think it actually started as 2 separate ideas that became one, and it was Sugar Moon first, and then I swapped it around. Yeah, realised it worked better the other way around. And for anyone, who's read it, it can have kind of multiple meanings. Yes,
it does. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming along today.
Thank you. I had so much fun. Thank you for inviting me.